Yeah, I think that's the same sack.
It's the same sack, but different stuff in it. Okay? Ha! Is it me? Like that? My wife hates me in fedoras. Does this one work?
It's better than the others.
That one works better than most.
But
Yeah,
there's a
you
big
notice
but
that, yeah.
there.
This is Eric's hat. This is actually a, this is your,
That's the antique.
the antique hat. You know what our antiques are? Old stuff. Most of us have old stuff. Keep it long enough and find somebody else who's interested in it and it suddenly becomes an antique. You can sell it for lots of money. Now you gotta keep it long enough and you gotta find somebody else who's interested in it. I'm not gonna talk about antiques. Talk about hats. Normally, and some of you may have expected today, this is first Sunday of the month. You know what we normally do on first Sunday of the month? We normally have the Lord's Supper up here. You know, it's not up here. That's nobody's fault. There are reasons. Sarah, who sometimes takes care of setting that up, is up in Rochester where she belongs, taking care of her daughter. Connie, who most often sets it up, is in Phoenix visiting grandchildren, which is a great thing to do. Ray and I get to do that here in just over a week. We get to take a vacation. We have certain hats we wear, certain jobs that we do. And sometimes we are known by our jobs. That's not necessarily a good thing. You know, I get introduced to, all the time. People will, you know, I'll be along with other people in the church. And, this is my pastor. And it's an honor to be your pastor. But if that's all that I am Ernie's pastor. And that's how everybody else in town knows me. I'm Ernie's pastor. I'm his pastor. Connie's pastor. Sarah's pastor. Then they don't really get to know me. You realize that? So often we are known as what we are. Some of you would know, if I mentioned Jerome Risting, there are at least maybe a few of you who would know, he's the program director for KIMT TV. Big impressive title. It means he watches TV for a living. But we're known by our job rather than who we are. We wear different hats, but we're known by the hat. If I just put this up here and everybody said, okay, that's Eric, because that's his hat. No, Eric's back there. We need to recognize people when we meet them as more than the hat they wear, more than the job they do. And we need to look at that in our life. We all have lots of hats that we wear, lots of things that we may do. And we need to allow people to get to know us, who we are. Not just the job we do, not just our relationship. I know Ray had mentioned sometimes that she has felt for many years she's only known as being my wife, or Eric, James, and Joe's mom, and not who she is. And we need to watch that in dealing with people. Take time to get to know that person. And let them get to know you as who you really are, not merely the hat that you wear. So when you see Eric wearing his antique fedora, which simply means an old fedora that they were able to get him to pay lots of money for.
Not that much.
Actually, not that much.
I didn't.
It was cheap.
Well, even the person who got that as a gift didn't pay substantially more than the new ones.
But think about that when you see those.